If you are exhausted today, Elijah's story may be for you. Not because Elijah was weak, but because he was strong for so long that his body and mind finally collapsed. In 1 Kings chapter 18, Elijah stands on Mount Carmel before a nation. He confronts the prophets of Baal, calls the people back to God, and prays as fire falls from heaven. It is one of the most dramatic victories in Scripture. Then he prays again, and rain returns after a devastating drought. If the story ended there, Elijah would look unstoppable. But the next chapter shows us something honest. After Queen Jezebel threatens his life, Elijah runs. He travels into the wilderness, sits beneath a broom tree, and asks to die. The man who faced hundreds of false prophets now feels unable to face one more day. Victory has not protected him from exhaustion. A public miracle has not removed private pain. That contrast matters. Many people assume that faith should make them constantly fearless, productive, and emotionally steady. Then, when exhaustion arrives, they treat it as proof that they have failed God. Elijah's story says otherwise. God does not begin by shaming Elijah. He lets him sleep. An angel touches him and says, "Arise and eat." Elijah finds bread and water. He eats, drinks, and lies down again. The angel returns a second time because the journey is too great for him. Notice the order. Before the lesson comes rest. Before the new assignment comes food. Before correction comes care. This does not mean every spiritual struggle can be solved by sleep or a meal. It means human beings are not souls trapped inside irrelevant bodies. Fatigue changes how the world feels. Hunger, fear, isolation, and prolonged stress can make tomorrow appear impossible. God treats Elijah as a whole person. Strengthened by that food, Elijah travels to Horeb, the mountain of God. There he enters a cave. God asks him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" The question is not asked because God lacks information. It gives Elijah space to speak. Elijah pours out his complaint. He has been zealous, the covenant has been rejected, the altars have been torn down, and he believes he is the only one left. His words contain truth, but exhaustion has narrowed his vision. He is not actually alone. God will later tell him that 7,000 in Israel have not bowed to Baal. But God allows Elijah to say what fear has been repeating inside him. Then comes the famous moment. A powerful wind tears at the mountain, but the Lord is not in the wind. An earthquake follows, but the Lord is not in the earthquake. Then comes fire, but the Lord is not in the fire. After the fire comes a low whisper, a gentle voice. Elijah had just seen God answer with fire on Mount Carmel. Now he learns that God's presence is not limited to spectacular moments. The same God who can shake a mountain can meet a weary person in quietness. Sometimes we search for a dramatic sign while God is restoring us through small mercies, a safe place to sleep, a meal, an honest conversation, a verse that reaches us differently, or one person who stays. God does not tell Elijah that his pain is imaginary. He gives him a next step. Elijah is to return, anoint leaders, and call Elisha. That final part is important. Elijah will no longer carry the work alone. Elisha becomes a companion and eventually his successor. Restoration does not always mean returning to the exact life you had before. Sometimes it means receiving help. Sometimes it means sharing responsibility. Sometimes it means discovering that your identity was never supposed to depend on doing everything alone. If you feel like Elijah beneath the broom tree, do not make permanent conclusions from an exhausted moment. The fact that you cannot see a path does not mean God has abandoned you. The fact that you need rest does not make you faithless. And the fact that you feel alone does not mean you are truly alone. Take the next faithful step, even if it is small. Eat. Rest. Speak honestly. Ask for help. Listen for the quiet voice instead of demanding another fire from heaven. And if your pain has become overwhelming or you are thinking of harming yourself, please reach out immediately to someone you trust or a professional crisis service where you live. Elijah's story is not a command to suffer silently. It is a reminder that care can reach us in the wilderness. Which part of Elijah's restoration do you need most today? Rest, truth, companionship, or a new direction? Share only if you feel comfortable. If this message encouraged you, like the video and subscribe to Divine Whisper so we can keep walking through Scripture together.